All right. Ready to dive deep into the world of footwear production machine operators.
Let's do it. We're going to help you get ready for those interviews.
Yeah, using all the insights and guides from RoleCatcher.
Yeah,
This is going to be like your secret weapon to make you sound like a pro.
definitely. You know, what's really interesting about this role is it's not just about working the machines, it's really understanding the whole process, like turning raw materials into an actual pair of shoes.
Right, turning those materials into something you can wear.
Exactly. And you'll be working on all sorts of machines, lasting machines that shape the shoes, cutters, closers, and even the finishing touches.
Wow, so it's a mix of like technical know-how and actual craftsmanship.
Hmm.
And our career guide really stresses how important being precise and efficient is in this role. I mean, you're making sure each shoe is top quality.
That's a great point. And remember, when you're in that interview, they want someone who not only knows the mechanics, but is passionate about the process. Someone who really cares about making great shoes.
Got it. So let's say you're in the hot seat and they ask you, what experience do you have operating these machines? It sounds simple, but I bet there's a better answer than just rattling off every machine you've touched.
Oh, absolutely. Instead of just saying, I've used a stitching machine, you can go deeper. Like, I've worked with single and double needle stitchers on different materials, leather, synthetics, and I'm really good at making durable seams for like high performance shoes.
Wow, that paints a much clearer picture. It's those details that make you stand out.
Exactly. And think about the company and the specific job you're going for. Do your research, figure out what machines they use, and highlight those skills in your answer. And that's actually where RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer.
Oh yeah, the AI. Tell me more about that.
Well, it can actually look at the job description and help you focus on the skills and experiences that are most important to that employer, like a personalized guide for your answers.
That's pretty awesome. It's like having a secret coach prepping you for that interview. Okay, so next question. Imagine they ask, how do you make sure those machines are running smoothly and making good quality products? That seems like it's all about quality control.
It is. So show them you understand the machines and the quality standards. You could talk about things like preventative maintenance, regular checks during production, and any specific quality control procedures you know.
Right, so for example, you could say, I always check the machines every day to make sure they're properly lubricated and aligned, and I'm also trained to use all the tools to check that the product matches the specs.
Perfect. Those are the kind of details they're looking for. And they might even follow up with something like, tell me about a time you spotted a potential quality issue. What did you do? So it's always good to have a story ready to go.
Okay, so storytelling is key. Now, what if they ask, how do you troubleshoot machine problems and get them fixed quickly? I'm sure everyone's had a machine go haywire on them. How do you turn that into a good answer?
The key here is to show them you have a system. You don't just panic. So instead of saying, I'm good at fixing things, walk them through your process. Do you have a mental checklist or a specific way you figure out what's wrong?
For example, you could say, if a machine breaks down, I always start by figuring out where the problem is. So I check the power, the settings, and any adjustments that were made recently. And if I need to, I look at the manual or ask someone with more experience.
Exactly. And mention any tools or diagnostic equipment you know how to use. They might even ask, tell me about a time you had a really tough machine problem to fix. So have a story ready that shows you can think on your feet.
Those real-life examples definitely stick with you. So how about this one? How do you keep those machines running at their best while still being safe? That sounds like a balancing act.
It is. They want to see that you understand that productivity and safety go hand in hand. Highlight your knowledge of safety protocols, how you stay on top of machine maintenance, and that you can work quickly without cutting corners on safety.
Right, so you could say, I always make sure all the safety guards are in place before I start any machine, and I know the proper lockout procedures to prevent accidents during maintenance.
Very good. They might even ask you, tell me about a time you had to balance production goals with safety. So be ready with an example of how you made a good decision under pressure.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. What about a question like, how do you handle it when a machine suddenly stops working or there's a production problem? Seems like this is all about staying calm when things go wrong.
You got it. You want to show them you're adaptable and you can solve problems. So instead of freaking out, you have a plan. You could say something like, when a machine breaks down, I let my supervisor and the maintenance team know right away. Then I look at the situation, and if possible, I reassign tasks to other people on the team so we don't lose too much time.
So you're showing you're a team player and you can handle those unexpected hiccups.
Exactly, and a good way to show that is by giving a specific example. Maybe there was a time you came up with a quick fix that kept things moving while a machine was getting repaired.
Okay, on to a question that might seem a bit more about paperwork. How do you keep accurate production records and reports? Maybe not as exciting as fixing a machine, but I bet it's still super important.
Absolutely. Accuracy and attention to detail are crucial in this role. You want to assure them that you're organized and careful.
So instead of just saying, I'm good at keeping records, you could say, I'm really good with spreadsheets to keep track of production data, and I'm also comfortable with the industry software for creating reports. I always double-check everything to make sure it's right.
Perfect. That shows you understand the importance of good documentation and you have the skills to do it well. They might even ask, have you ever found a mistake in a production record? What did you do about it? Be prepared to show your commitment to quality and taking responsibility.
Okay, here's a question that seems to be about the bigger picture. How do you make sure the entire production process is running efficiently and effectively?
This is your chance to shine and show off your knowledge about improving processes. You can talk about your experience finding bottlenecks in the production line or times when you came up with solutions to streamline things.
Like, you could say, at my last job, I noticed materials were always getting held up at one workstation. So I suggested a new schedule that matched the material delivery with the production needs, which reduced downtime and made everything more efficient.
Great example. It shows you take initiative and you understand how to make the workflow better. They might even ask, what are some of the key things you would track to measure production efficiency? So be prepared to talk about things like production output, cycle time, and defect rates.
All right, let's tackle this one. How do you train new people on the machines and the production process? This seems to be all about sharing your knowledge and being a good mentor.
It is. It's about showing off your communication skills and how you can explain complicated things clearly. So instead of just saying, I'm good at training people, you could say, I have experience creating training materials and giving hands-on instruction to new operators. I believe in being patient and supportive, making sure they understand the technical stuff and all the safety rules.
Right, so you're highlighting your ability to make complicated things easy to understand and create a good learning environment.
Exactly. And if you have any specific examples of successful training you've done, definitely mention them.
All right, now we're getting into some questions about focusing on the customer and keeping up with industry trends. First one, how do you make sure the production process meets quality standards and what the customer wants?
This is where you show them that making great footwear is about more than just meeting internal standards. It's about keeping the customer happy.
So you could say something like, I always follow the product specs really closely and do quality checks throughout the whole process. I also try to get feedback from my colleagues and supervisors to make sure we're meeting the customer's expectations.
Perfect. They might ask, can you tell me about a time you had to change the production process to meet a specific customer need? So have a story ready where you showed your dedication to making the customer happy.
Last but not least, how do you ensure that the manufacturing process is sustainable and environmentally friendly? Seems like everyone's thinking about this more these days.
Definitely a hot topic. You want to show them you understand the impact manufacturing has on the environment and that you're committed to doing things sustainably.
So instead of just saying, I care about the environment, you could say something like, I'm familiar with different ways to reduce waste and always try to minimize material waste and energy use in my work area. I'm also trained on how to properly dispose of hazardous materials.
Very good. And if the company you're interviewing with has any specific sustainability programs, do your research and mention how your values align with theirs. It shows you've done your homework and you care about their company culture.
Wow, we've covered a lot. From actually running the machines to quality control and even sustainability. It's clear that a footwear production machine operator does a lot. But before we jump into career paths and all that, I want to bring up the RoleCatcher AI again.
Yes, it can really make a difference when you're prepping for an interview.
It can look at those tough interview questions and help you customize your answers to really highlight the skills and experience that matter most for the job.
Absolutely. And it gives you feedback on your answers so you can see where you can be more specific or make a stronger impression. It's like having a virtual coach in your pocket.
All right, so we've tackled some tough interview questions and we've got this incredible AI tool to help us. Now let's talk about career paths and the potential for growth in this field.
So the footwear industry, it really offers some exciting opportunities, especially for those who are willing to learn and grow.
Yeah, you're not just stuck in one spot. There's a whole path you can take. And our career guide actually points out some of those opportunities.
It does, yeah. And what's really cool about starting as a footwear production machine operator is you get to see all the different parts of how shoes are made with some experience. And if you keep learning, you could specialize in a certain type of machine. Become a real expert in stitching or lasting.
Yeah, you can become like the go-to person for that one skill. That's got to feel good.
Absolutely. And that kind of expertise, that can lead to leadership roles. You could become a team leader, training new operators, making sure the quality's top-notch, even troubleshooting those really tricky production problems.
Right. And what about those who want to go beyond just the production floor? Are there opportunities for them too?
Definitely. All the skills you learn as an operator, they're valuable in other departments like quality assurance, production planning, even design and development.
Wow, so there are lots of ways to grow and explore within the industry.
There are, yeah. And the career guide really emphasizes that continuous learning is key. I mean, think about it. The footwear industry is always changing. New technologies, new materials, sustainability practices are evolving all the time.
So you got to stay curious and keep those skills sharp. Whether it's taking courses, going to industry events, or even just reading about the latest trends, showing that you're committed to learning is going to make you stand out.
For sure. And it's not just about those technical skills either. Don't underestimate those soft skills, communication, teamwork, problem solving. Those are crucial for any role, especially if you want to move into leadership.
Before we move on, I want to highlight again how RoleCatcher's AI can help people get ready for their footwear production machine operator interview.
Oh, it's an amazing tool, no doubt.
It can really help you fine-tune your CV and practice those interview answers, giving you personalized guidance based on the specific job you're going for.
Exactly. It can look at the job description and suggest which skills and experiences to focus on in your answers, making sure you present yourself in the best possible light. And don't forget, they have a free version, so anyone can try out the power of AI for their job search.
All right, so we've tackled some tough interview questions. We've got this incredible AI tool to help us out. We've even explored some career paths. So what are your final thoughts?
Yay.
Okay, but before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Yeah, I like that.
We've really gone through the whole role, those interview questions, even looked at some career paths.
We really covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The footwear industry, it doesn't stand still. It's always evolving.
Totally. New technologies come out all the time. Materials change, customer demands shift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my question to you, listener, is this. How will you stay ahead of the curve?
It's about more than just getting the job. It's about really having a vision for yourself in this field.
What skills are you going to master? What innovations will you be a part of?
Keep that curiosity going because the world of footwear, it's full of possibilities.
And on that note, we're going to lace up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Until next time, keep those feet moving and those minds exploring.